Further with Jim Cavanagh, political analyst and blogger, joining us from New York. Mr. Cavanagh, welcome back to Press TV. My first question is, what do you think is the real objective behind the EU's decision to designate the IRGC as a terrorist organization? Is this EU designation about security at all, or is it purely a political signal aimed at Iran?
Well, it's entirely hypocritical, and the purpose of it is to propose some kind of justification for the attack on Iran that the United States and Israel are itching to do, and to propose to the European public that that Iran has to be attacked because the IRGC is a terrorist organization or some such nonsense. Look, we just saw Mark Carney, fortunately, get up and state that the whole rhetoric of rules-based international order has been phony, and they knew it was phony. They knew it was fake. They knew it was fictitious. This word terrorism is thrown around. It's been thrown around since 2000, 2001. One man's terrorist is another man's freedom fighter. The United States, Israel, Europe, which has been supporting the genocide in Gaza, supporting the Israeli state, supporting Benjamin Netanyahu, sending weapons, sending arms, some of the European countries, Germany and Britain, although Britain isn't part of the EU, but they have no position from which to be telling people who's a terrorist and who's not. Yeah. This is just part of the offensive that's now in the works against Iran. They're trying to have a diplomatic offensive, an ideological offensive, an economic offensive, and a military offensive. So this is one of the arms of the offensive against Iran now by the West, by the United States and Europe on behalf of the Zionist project.
So based on your analysis, Mr. Cavanagh, do you think that a war is going to soon break out in the region?
I am horrified to say it, but I think yes. I think since this started in Gaza, this was an inevitability. The Israelis have been pushing the United States for 12, 15 years to go to war with Iran. They got them to do it in June. They got Trump to go along with an attack on Iran in June. Trump and Israel was, I think, smart enough to back off because they knew that Iran was getting the upper hand. But Israel, they've not given up on this. Listen, the project is, and I think, people in your country thought you could talk with this about the Americans, and give credit to Obama. He did make an agreement, but the United States has abrogated that agreement. The project of the United States and Israel is to destroy Iran as a coherent country, is to do what it did to Syria and to Libya, to take it off the board as a strong, coherent country that can challenge Israel, to turn it into a country that accepts by force or by some kind of surrender the hegemony of Israel in the region, that accepts its own subaltern status in that disarms itself and has no means of defending itself against Israel or defending the Palestinians against Israel, which is really important. And there's nothing you're going to say, there's no deal you're going to make that's going to stop them from doing that. Unfortunately, there's going to be a fight. I think it ultimately has to happen. They're not going to let you slip away with it without doing it. And it's going to be very nasty, and I don't know what's going to happen, but I think you should be prepared to be hit with every weapon that the Israelis have. They are not going to hold anything back.
Well, that is one of my questions, Mr. Cavanagh. You are saying that this confrontation is going to be very different from the previous one back in June. How different do you think this is going to be? And in terms of your analysis, you said that there is a project, and a U.S.-Israeli project, that they want to destroy Iran. There is also this analysis that the U.S. doesn't, the U.S.'s plan is stops as regime change, but when it comes to Israel, they want more. They want to balkanize and disintegrate the country of Iran. Your thoughts on that as well?
As they did with Syria, they want to to break it up, as they want to do with Russia, as they did with Syria. Look what's happened to Syria. It's unbelievable. And they think they can do it, and they think they must do it. They're going to start looking at, Kurdish and Baluchi and, all of these. They're going to put forth all of these things. They want to weaken Iran. They want Iran that's a weak state that will not recover its strength and its coherence, and that is forced to accept, and to back off. That's why it was never about a nuclear weapon. It was about the ballistic missiles, the military capability, including ballistic missiles, which are very important. It's about the support of the resistance groups in the region. Those are the things they want Iran to stop. So, and they're never going to stop attacking you until and unless you give up those things. And so I don't know what else can happen. And I think they know that you're getting stronger. The country is getting stronger every year. So the Israelis for years have been, the sooner the better. And what I think is, Trump made a deal with you, I think, with your country, to have this little one-off, we'll hit you here and you can hit us there, and then we'll all back off. And they had to do that, but they're very unhappy about it. And
yes,
it's up to you. It's up to Iran. If you're going to accept a deal, some kind of little, one-off negotiation thing like that, you hit us here, we'll hit you. That may happen, but I don't think that's what you're in it for now. I think you understand that they're never going to stop until you stop them.
Well, the real question at that point is, if they get what they want, will they stop? What they are doing with the project, as you mentioned in your first response regarding Iran.
Well, if Iran surrenders and says, okay, we'll accept the Zionist project, we'll give up any weapons that might threaten Israel, we'll stop supporting the Palestinian resistance movements in the region. If Iran does that, then they'll be perfectly happy with you. Nobody's going to be complaining about protests or anything else if you agree to be another subordinate country, subordinate to Israel and to the United States in the region. If you're not going to do that, the only way you're going to stop them from trying every way to get them to do that is to fight them. And I don't know what the outcome of this is going to be. But if you fight them, be prepared. You're going to get hit with every weapon they have. There's no question about it. If you go this a fight to the finish, you're going to have to take the hits from Israeli nuclear weapons. And it's a very dangerous thing. And that's why everybody wants to avoid it. But I don't know how it can be avoided. So yes, they think they can talk you into doing that. They don't think that anymore. They know they're going to have to some people in the country in Israel might, maybe we can talk them into doing that. Some people in your country might think, we can talk the Americans and Israelis and stop them from attacking us and they'll allow us to still be a strong country, have our ballistic missiles, have our support for the Palestinian resistance, and they won't really kill us. They won't really attack us and use all their weapons against us. I think that's just fantasy and it's not right, and we're coming to the conclusion of that.